thinking about the greatest toys store, the toy store, the greatest toys of all time, and I was going through having the best toys of the 50s, best toys of the 60s, best toys of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, etc. And and sourcing out what were the top selling toys, what were the big things to hit the market, what were the game changers, and one of the things I was going through was what about adding things like collectibles? What were the hottest collectibles, and to have the hottest collectibles available, and what about kids' clothes? What were the hottest trends in kids' clothes? What were the kids wearing? What sort of sandals and what sort of hats and what sort of overalls and pants were they selling and wearing back in the 50s, and then back in the 60s, and back in the 70s, and back in the 80s? And then I came up with, what happens if you just made this into a generations store where you had everything from the 60s and the 60s aisle, everything from the 50s and the 50s aisle, and you had like everything broken down. Like you could do things like lamps, you could do things like clothes, you could do things like household, well, not just household items, but the hottest selling items, the hottest selling household items that came out in the 50s and 60s. With clothes, you could do trends, different trends that come out. You could use pop culture and music as well. You could relate things to pop culture and music and have things like blues, bluegrass, grunge, you know, disco, and have it in the appropriate year that it came out in, and have a whole bunch of, like, a whole bunch of punk stuff, or a whole bunch of disco stuff, or a whole bunch of Motown stuff, or depending on what trend you're basing this off. So this store is called My Generation, and it's a generation store. You could even go to the 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, like, and basically what you're doing is sourcing out the hottest selling and game changing and breaking items that came out in those periods of time, and try to find the other thing you could do is try to find the original. Try to see if the original company will make it for you again, make it for your store again, and you have the original item, like the original bell bottoms from Levi's or Guess, or whoever first made them, and have that be like in a toy store that's relevant, where you're selling kids' clothes and you have the original bell bottoms. It's kind of like a historical bell bottoms, right? Or if you have like the original, like, Michael Jackson coat, the original companies that started selling those zipper coats like Michael Jackson and stuff when that came out and stuff, or MC Hammer pants, the original MC Hammer pants and stuff. And well, if you get the original, it's kind of like a historical item. If you do this right, where it's all original items from the original manufacturers with all the original ownership of property and stuff, it can be like picking up historical items as well. It's not just like picking up toys, and not just picking up fashion or gadgets or household items. It can be picking up historical items as well. So this store's called My Generation.